Hey, I'm back again. We're going to continue working on Category 3. This is the 8th grade math test in March of 2017. Here we go. I'm heading to question 14. Alright, on question 14 it takes a cylinder and it gives you the dimensions and then it asks you for lateral surface area, and I'm going to underline that. Now, I hope you go to your formula chart and find these formulas for this, otherwise it's going to be a long day. Now, before I get too carried away, I'd like to do a check. Let's check. Centimeters, centimeters, centimeters. Well, and all the answers are in centimeters, so we don't need to worry about centimeters. Nothing hurts when they have centimeters and meters. That one hurts. So let's write that formula down. So I'm looking at the formula chart, and let's grab one. That is lateral. That's a cylinder. It's 2 pi RH. So I'm going to write S equals 2 pi RH. And I'm real picky about formulas. You got to write them out. And if you're doing them in your head, I don't think that's going to work very good. And S stands for lateral surface area. Me, I'd rather see lateral surface area, because that way I can really see what's going on. Anyway, that's just me being picky. I'm going to bring that down, lateral surface area. I want all this in parentheses. Why? Because. And R. Didn't we discuss radius being the short word and diameter being the long word? Well, if we look at this shape, is that a long line or a short line? That looks like a long diameter. How do you make it look like a radius? Yes, you're right. You cut it right in half. And remember, this is the height. So, 8.4. All right. So if I want radius, I want 8.4 divided by 2. And I'm confident you can do that, and I think we should let the calculator. Parenthesis, height. How about 10.9? All right, let's double check what you wrote. Did you write the formula down? Yes. Did you write down a 2 in parentheses and then a pi? And don't do 314 because that changes the answer. And then you see radius, and it's 8.4 divided by 2. Probably 90% chance you're going to get a diameter, and you're going to have to divide by 2. And then your height is 10.9. Simple enough. You go to your home screen on your calculator, you type it in, you push the enter button, and you pick the right answer. So here we go. I've typed it in, and I'm going to tilt that calculator so you can get a better screen. So 2 pi, 8.4 divided by 2, and then my 10.9. And yeah, they're all in their own kind of container, I guess, in those sets of parentheses. When I push the enter button, I get 287.64. You only have one 287. This one. Now, this question could have a twist to it. You know, what does lateral surface area mean anyway? That means only the walls, no top, no bottom. I could make this question harder by telling you paint just the walls and one top. And if you do total surface area, you'll get it wrong because that's a top and a bottom. Because let's look at total surface area. Total surface area, there's your formula again. That's the part we just did. Plus 2 bases. A great question would have been the walls plus 1 base. And that formula is not there, and you would have had to have known to change that 2 to a 1. So pay attention. Do they want the walls? Do they want the bottom and the top? Or do they just want one of the bottoms and the top? If you were painting a post, and you know those things at Walmart that stop the cars from running the people over, I don't think you're going to tear it out of the ground to paint the bottom yellow. More than likely you'll paint just the walls, the cylinder part, this piece, and then you paint the top. I don't see anybody digging it up to paint the bottom. And if that was the case, the formulas are both wrong. You would have had to have changed that 2 to a 1. Be careful. Make sure you know what you're looking at. Think about it. All right, let's go to the next question. I'm still in Category 3, and I'm on question 17. It says figure ABCDE similar to figure whatever, VWXYZ. What's that word similar mean? My kids are taught to strike the word similar and write the word proportion. When? Every time they see that word. Because it's true, it's proportion. And I can prove it. Oh, look. There's proportion. Now, there's another word on here they didn't share. How about word corresponding? What does corresponding mean? That means, if you look up here, A, the first letter, would match the first letter over here, V. And the second letter, B, matches the second letter over here, W. And so forth. C would match then X. And then I can do the bonus rounds. AB line segment matches VW. I could even say line segment AE matches VZ. Corresponding. Now in class we called those your best friend. Who's your best friend? Somebody you talk to. Best friends, here we go. Now, another comment on these images. Probably not a good idea. They look very rotated, possibly dilated, possibly flipped. I don't know. I suggest you look up here. Other than that, I don't think you're going to like your answer. So this is cute, but I don't need it. I only need this part right here. This is a distractor, and it's not much help. So let's see which one's true. Get that on the screen there. And I'm actually going to copy those letters down to the bottom because it's a lot less work versus moving this paper. So let's talk about your best friends. Now, I rewrote it. By the way, that symbol means similar. If you're not sure, turn it sideways and you'll see an S. Perfect. I know. We're good here. So let's talk about your best friends. A-E. A-E. So the first one, the last one. Wouldn't your best friends be V and a Z? Do you see a... And it should be either here or here, not catty corner. So... No, because it's either got to be top and bottom or left and right. No, not that one. Next, AB, wouldn't that be VW? There's VW. And what about D? But wouldn't DE be up here with AB? Because this is the first one. This one's the second one. This should be the first one. This should be the second one. No. Everything counts. What about BC? Shouldn't that be WX? I don't even have a WX. No. AB's best friend should be VW. All right, there. So if you're going to do the AB part on top and then the second one on the bottom, that's fine. So this should be the first one. That has to be the second picture. CD's best friend should be XY. I like it. But again, first picture's on top, then the second picture's on the bottom. You can't interchange them. So there's the first picture. That's the second picture. That's the first picture, that's the second picture. So this one's laid out right, but wrong letters. A, B is first, and then the second one. So this one's the first picture, this one's the second. That's not the first picture. Wrong. First picture, second picture, first picture, second picture. I'm talking about these two. And AE is... That's not an X. A is first, E is next. That's not an X, that's not a Y. No. Answer choice, D. And those are really confusing. You have to go real slow. You don't want to do them twice. Alrighty, I'm on question 20, still category 3. I'm reading it. So you got a pentagon shown below, coordinate grid, another pentagon. It's dilated. The origin's the center, always is. And there's the rule. And you're going to create the new one with the M prime, N prime, and all that fun stuff. Remember, this one's first, this one's second. Those primes represent the second picture. Anyway, I want to go right here. We've talked about those rules. Now, first of all, are you multiplying? Yes, you're right. This is scale factor. And we could probably look real hard, and you'll see the word dilation. Oops, off screen. Now you can see the word dilation. This is scale factor, dilation. This is not... +2, -3, and all that fun stuff. What do you know about 1/4? Type 1/4 in the calculator if you don't know. That's 25 cents. If you're going to go to 1/4, 1/4 is going to make it smaller because you're going to take 1 and break it into 4 pieces. And you're only keeping 1. So 1/4 makes it smaller. Promise. Type in 32 and divide into 4. You're not going to get bigger than 32. Now, what's going to happen? So let's see. Do you think it would get bigger or larger? It's not going to get larger. No, maybe, no. 2 in, 2 out. Do you think it'll be smaller because 1/4 is less than $1, or is 1/4 greater than $1? Well, I think we said 1/4 is 25 cents, and I hope you recognize that's less than $1, and the answer is G. Now, if you were counting a bunch of stuff up there, you probably should have read all of the question before you started that kind of idea. Let's go to the next one. I'm on question 22, and it talks about point J and point K located on a coordinate grid. That's graph paper for the rest of us. And then it talks about the distance between those 2 points. If you didn't recognize it, this is more than likely a right triangle, which is Pythagorean theorem. Now, if you're counting all those little boxes, that won't work, because I don't think you can count on a diagonal, and I'm confident you'll be looking at a diagonal. So, no counting boxes. You're going to use that formula. So I'm going to plot those points. So what do they look like? All right, I plotted those points for you. Let me show you what I did. -4 is x. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a polka dot. That's xy2. Go over 4. Go up 4 and put a polka dot. And we always start at 0, 0. Now I need this distance. Guys, y'all can't count those slants like that. You certainly can't do that. But what I'd like you to do is make me a right triangle. So let's see if you can do it. Alright, I connected the dots the best I could. Could I have used a ruler? Sure, I could have. Do you have one on the test? No, I didn't use a ruler. I did just what you would have done. Now, that's Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem is a right triangle, and you have one. So we're just going to use Pythagorean theorem. So let's count out those boxes, and let's be careful about counting. Alright, I counted the boxes. I even took my highlighter and highlighted. Now, if you're going to do a highlighter, you got to leave that corner open because that's not part of the line. It starts here and goes that way, and then it starts here and it goes down. You could put a polka dot in each little square. You could use a highlighter. Don't be putting a highlighter right there. But you could do the bunny hop. That's 1 bunny hop, 2 bunny hop. I don't care. The answer is 8 squared. That's 10 squared. Then you got c squared. Now there's lots of ways to do Pythagorean theorem. We're going to go with the surefire get a check mark opportunity. y1, y2, why not? Alright, so I've put in the equation. I've got the y1 marked, I got the y2 marked, I've got stuff on my calculator, and we should clear it. How about second plus 712? Perfect. So how do you do y1, y2, y not? Go to the y equals, type in 8 squared plus 10 squared. 8 squared plus 10 squared. And I do like to use that little 2 button. I don't like the carrot top, especially in this y1, y2, especially if it's a squared. And then down here I'm going to type in x squared. I know you want to type in c squared, but I don't have a c x or y line. I need the axis to be an x or y, and I don't have a c. So I need the little 2. Perfect. So 8 squared plus 10 squared is x squared. Double check it. Nothing hurts when you have to do it twice. Now my window is, yeah, remember we reset it. Should be there. Would that work? Probably not. Well, let's see what the graph looks like. Probably not. So how about we zoom out to, I don't know, maybe 100? So negative 100, positive 100, count by 10. Negative 100, positive 100, count by 10. You should see 2 lines cross. There's your parabola. And I didn't see a line cross. That doesn't necessarily mean it didn't cross. I just may not have seen it. It might be real close. And sometimes if you're close to the screen, but it's still off, it'll still work. We'll test it. Second trace, 5, 1, 2, 3. 12 point something. 12.80. Well, what are your options down here? I like 13. Answer is H. I wrote out the steps for this TI-83 Plus, just in case you didn't know all those steps, so there they are. And here's the reason that 13 works. It says closest, and that's pretty close. We're going on. Alrighty, how about question 24? We got a cone, got dimensions shown on the diagram, then it talks about volume. How about you make that circle look 3D-ish? And, you know, it doesn't hurt my feelings if you colored that in. In fact, I kind of like it. Not too often you get to color at this age. Enjoy it while you get it. Next. Now, if you go to the handy-dandy formula chart, you'll find there's only one cone on there. And it's right there. And it says 1/3 base height. And that's capital base height. And that capital base means area of base. So what is the shape of the base? Well, you drew a circle, didn't you? So I'm going to draw a circle. Shade that in. So whenever we copy my formula, I'm going to have volume equals 1/3 pi radius height. Now I could have done pi r squared times the height. But I actually kind of like it laid out a little better like that. Sometimes that 2 gets too confusing. But it works perfect. So here we go. So the volume comes down. All this needs to be in parentheses. So 1/3 pi. I need the radius. Now let's go up to your shape. Well, it's right there. That's 5 5/8. We're going to cut it in half. I don't really want to type in that fraction and then have to divide it by 2. It'd be a lot simpler if you already knew what 5/8 was. Now on my calculator, when I typed in 5/8, I got 0.625. So I'm going to put 5.625 divided by 2. And I know that's a lot, but that's okay. The calculator's good. And I think I need 2 of them, so I'm going to write it again. 5.625 divided by 2. Close that door. And then I'm going to put the height in. And the height was 7.5. And again, I'm in decimals. So how about 7.5, 7.50? Those all work for me. I can do the 0. So that's where we're at. Let's type it in. I typed it in, I got 62.12, and I should pick choice J.